Alright, let's see if I can do this without the mic getting all on me this time. Last week, both Marvel and DC released books that had major ramifications for not just one of their respective characters, but for their whole respective universes, and possibly for event comics going forward. Then again, I could just be reading into things too much, but why get into superhero comics if you're not gonna read into things way too much? Last week, in Unworthy Thor issue 25, we finally learned what Nick Fury said to Thor, and that is the actual Thor, the Odinson, to make him lose his powers and become unworthy. This plot thread stems all the way back to original Sin, which was released in 2014. Now, that may not seem like a long time ago, but that's a long time for something to not get resolved in comic book years. Original Sin was written by Jason Aaron, the man who's currently writing the Unworthy Thor and somebody who's been writing Thor altogether since 2012's Thor God of Thunder series. So this is clearly part of his overall master plan. So, what magic spell did Nick Fury say to Thor to make him lose his powers? Well, it wasn't really a spell at all. It wasn't anything all that magical. It was just a sentence. Gorr was right. Gorr the God Butcher was the main antagonist of Aaron's God of Thunder series. He battled Thor in the past when he was young Thor, in the present when he was an Avenger, and in the future when he's the old king of Asgard. Gorr's main quest was to eliminate all the gods of Asgard because to him they did nothing but cause all the world's problems. So for Thor to hear that somebody he knows and trusts agree with Gorr that this lunatic he's been fighting for thousands of years is right, really resonates with him. It makes him question everything he's been fighting for all this time. It really made Thor himself believe that he could be unworthy of wielding Mjolnir, or even being the God of Thunder altogether. Meanwhile, over at DC, we just got done with Superman Reborn, a 4-issue miniseries that wound up being a major event. Okay, so to try and make a long story short, the Clark Kent doppelganger that's been hanging around since Rebirth turned out to be Mixus Spitlick, and he trapped Superman, Lois Lane, and their son Jonathan Kent in a pocket dimension for all sorts of crazy shenanigans. When all of a sudden Superman and Lois Lane disappear and are replaced with the Superman and Lois Lane from the New 52, even though they're supposed to be dead. When all of a sudden the New 52 Superman and Lois Lane merge with the Rebirth Superman and Lois Lane, which remember is the pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois Lane, to become one Superman and one Lois Lane. Two characters with all the memories of both from across all forms of reality. But not only did Superman and Lois Lane merge with their pre- and post-Flashpoint versions of themselves, but the entire DC universe wound up merging with the pre- and post-Flashpoint versions of themselves. It's confusing, right? Basically, DC combined its entire post-1986 continuity into one streamlined timeline. Both the Superman event and the Thor event are big deals, and they're going to have major ramifications for not just those characters, but the entire universes of these respective publishers. With Marvel, it showed that a simple opinion can change the will of a god, and it set the stage for not just the Odinson, but for Jane Foster Thor and this new War Thor that we're supposed to be getting. And with DC, they rewrote their continuity again, but they did so without a major crisis or big 6-issue miniseries. They did it in the story of a father and mother trying to rescue their son from a lunatic. Normally, both events would have been cause for major buildup and fanfare, but they didn't really get any. DC kinda hyped it with teaser images, but not in the way they would have done events like Infinite Crisis or Final Crisis or anything like that. Could this be the sign of changing times? Are we about to see the end of major event books as we know it? Well, not really. Marvel still has Secret Empire coming out, which I've talked before on this channel, and they are gearing up for generations after that. But what it does do is it makes everything less out there and less grandiose. It brings everything into an introspective level that we really haven't seen in a long time from the company that brought us Civil War II. Meanwhile, this does seem to be par for the course for DC. Since 2011, they haven't really done any major events. There was Forever Evil, there was Convergence, which was really just to fill time while they moved offices. There was Rebirth, which was 1 issue, and then there's Dark Days coming up this year, which is only 2 issues. That's not a whole lot for a major publisher like DC to put out in the span of 7 years. It looks like DC's new way of reshaping their continuity without making a big deal about it and potentially scaring off new readers. I really like both of these turns. They're actually something new and different, understated and bespoke, not big and apocalyptic. These events aren't really macro level events, they're micro level events focused on one set of characters and how it's going to ripple out into the greater universe. I'd love to see more stuff like this. Not too much more. I don't want to turn this into a cliche like hero versus hero, but this is definitely a breath of fresh air and I can't help but appreciate it. What do you guys think about this recent turn of events for both Thor and Superman? Do you think they're going to have major ramifications for Marvel and DC? Did you like the way these turned out, or do you prefer the bigger, more epic style event reveals? Let me know down below or anywhere on the internet. I've had a really bad stuffy nose for the past 4 days and I cannot believe I made it through this video in one piece. So if you're wondering why my voice sounds weird, that's what that is. We of course have new videos every Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern is Wulff Den Live. If you missed the live version, you can catch it again on Thursday, the rerun, and you can catch it in audio format on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Also, stay tuned because the Backlog, our new show where we talk about a game from our collection, is coming back. I don't know when, but it's coming. Also, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. It's wrestling commentary time. This time for the biggest event of the year, WrestleMania. Myself and Vince Matthews will be doing commentary for the whole damn show this Sunday, April 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Wulff Den's YouTube channel. So tune in, mute your TV, and don't listen to whoever they got on. Listen to us. I do hope they have Mauro Ranallo back. I miss him. I wonder where he's been these past 2 weeks. And as always, like if you like, subscribe if you really like, share this video with a friend. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.